Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Scribbles with Barry. For my returning subscribers, you're welcome, and if you're new here, you're welcome to the family. So today I'll be talking about something very important, and I'll be citing an example with my experience, what happened to me some years ago, and how this topic is what I want to talk about today is very important because it happens most places. And for those that belong to a church community, that's one other problem we witness in the church. When you're confined in someone as a leader and the leader goes about telling other people, that's not encouraging at all. So today I'll be talking about my experience about that. Some years ago, I was led to talk about something to my leader, and I was really led. I was led, but I was not sure of the right person to talk to. But this was my direct pastor, so I just felt, okay, since he's my direct pastor, he's the pastor over me, let me talk to him. By the way, I was not a child, I was an adult already. Yeah, I was an adult already, and I talked to this pastor about this particular thing, and he told me, okay, you have to pray about it, you have to pray, you have to do this, you have to do that. I was like, okay, no problem. And then the next Sunday I came to church, and that Sunday I actually came late to church. So the pastor called me and he was taking me outside, and I was like, oh, I came late, and then that is why he's taking me outside. And I was like, maybe he's going to say, with this that happened, you're supposed to be very serious now, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, and you're coming to church late, something like that. But to my greatest surprise, guys, he took me outside and we're going to a particular direction. And when I got there, I saw my mom standing. Immediately, I just knew what was going to happen. I knew why he was taking me there. And I got there, my mom was there, and he told my mom, I was there, my mom, and he told me, okay, tell your mom what you told me. I'm like, what? You think if I wanted to tell my mom or my parents, I wouldn't have told them? I am not a child. I am not some 16 years old. I am an adult, for crying out loud. I am an adult. I was 20 something, and it was as though the ground should just open and swallow me. I was shaking. God, that was actually bad. And how was I even going to start? I was trembling, tears was streaming down my face, and I told my mom, and my mom, she was so weak, she was really disappointed and everything. I was like, God. I know how my parents act though. I just told my mom, I just pleaded with her, please, don't tell my daddy yet. Don't tell my daddy yet until I leave for school, because that was weekend. Until I leave for school the next day. And throughout that day in the house, it was not funny anyways. It was not funny. It was actually not funny. And parents now, African parents, even after she told my dad used me to preach in the house during morning devotion for months, guys. But one thing, I don't know why that pastor would do that. Definitely it wasn't God who told you to do that. Well, that's over righteousness and over zealousness and whatever he acted. If not that I was genuinely saved and I had the leading from God, that would have thrown me out of the church. That would have even caused, a bigger harm to me. But it's so funny and surprisingly that things like that happen every day in the church, in the household of faith of God, in Christendom. And Imagine if you do something like that to someone who is not even strong, who is trying to gain his or her ground in Christendom, in Christianity, and you expect that person to trust you or to open up to you when something goes wrong again. I mean, how does that even work? But you know one thing, I'm not spiting him, I'm not happy, you know, he is the way he is now. But one thing I have actually seen in this life, those people that castigate others for doing something wrong, those people that look down on others, those people that, you know, feel they are too righteous and too holy to actually do some certain things, by the time you just give them time, by the time, you know, later on when you look at their lives, it's nothing to write home about. It's not something joyful about. But one would think someone would do something like that to me, you know, would be on his way to heaven. But today, as I'm speaking to you now, as I'm making this video, that man is no longer in the church. That man has gotten a chieftaincy title. And chieftaincy title in that place, you have to do so many diabolical things and fetish things, drinking of blood. You know, I don't even want to go into that. But he is no longer in the church. He has gotten a chieftaincy title, which means he has, you know, engaged himself in all those fetish and diabolical things to attain that height. He has divorced his wife. He has chased his wife away and married another young girl, and he is nothing to write home about. So when I'm just trying to say that we should give people a benefit, we should give people a chance, we should act matured as leaders. When someone opens up about his or her life to you, or about something, or seeks counsel, we should be kind enough to, you know, to pray with that person, give the person the counsel that he or she deserves, and not to castigate the person, not to talk about that particular thing to other people, not to look down on them. Some persons even, you know, maybe they had these responsibilities in the church, singing or one thing or the other, they strip you of that, you know, that service, and for years you've just been left like that, to even think that they are even doing worse than you. I mean, but when someone opens up to us, we should, you know, try to act matured. I mean, that's why you're there as a leader. As a leader, we should embrace the person, bring the person to Christ, and not chasing the person away from the church of God. So with this, today we've come to the end of our video. I mean, that period was really a trying time for me. It was not actually funny, in fact. But I remember I was praying, I called someone, I was crying on phone, I was talking. In fact, it was not easy, but I thank God. I was, even when he did that, I was actually really still convinced God led me to do that. And I had peace, I had favor. It brought favor, honestly. It brought favor. In fact, after that period, I was promoted in the church. It was even that pastor that called me, you know, but it's just so unfortunate how everything turned out for him. So, and I believe when someone does something like that to you, it is very difficult, especially if that person is tender in faith. It is very difficult for that person to open up again to his or her leader. So let's try, guys. Let's try, please, to make the world a better place. When someone falls, instead of laughing and mocking that person, we should give the person a helping hand and bring that person up and back to the faith. Thank you guys for watching. I believe you picked or learned one or two. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week, same time, same day. Ciao. Bye.